떠나볼까 let me fly to my 시선이 낮추고 어디든 맞춤 지금 나와 let me fly to my get me out of my bliss and now I'm feeling brand new.
There are people outside my window. Okay, but anyway, so actually I have exams at the end of this week. I'm filming this on the 1st of December and I have an exam on the 4th and another exam on the 6th of December. So I was thinking about what I could film for this week, and although it may not be very exciting, I thought, why don't I take you along with me on a week of being productive? I guess every day I'll show you a bit of what I do to try and be more productive and how I prepare for exams, I guess. Day 1, I can just like walk you through what I consider to be productive. What I do every day is aim to get 8 hours of productive activity in a day, except for Saturday I give myself 4 hours and Sunday I say 0 hours, so I'm not productive on a Sunday unless I need to catch up for not being productive in the week. What I consider to be productive is not only studying for school or working on the project that I'm overseeing on the side. I basically consider anything that doesn't include watching YouTube to be productive. Like basically if I'm not on social media and I'm not on YouTube, it's quite a productive activity for me. Some abnormal things that I would consider to be productive is doing my Duolingo every morning. So I am trying to learn Korean, 안녕하세요, and I consider reading the newspaper to be productive. And I give myself 2 hours out of the 8 hours to do things that I enjoy. So it could be art, like if you saw in my previous video, I've been drawing cards for a few of my friends for their birthdays, so I consider that activity to be productive as long as I don't do too much of it. So I limit myself to 2 hours a day, including this Duolingo and reading books. In a nutshell, I assign myself 8 hours of productive activity in a day, where 6 hours is put towards my studies and also my project that I'm working on, and then 2 hours I can spend on Duolingo, reading the newspaper, reading books, or drawing. I think it's quite good to give yourself a few things that you want to focus on that may not be productive in a sense. Like for me, it's reading books or drawing that you consider to be productive, so that when you're doing these activities, you don't feel like you're wasting time. I think that really helps me every day, because like if I'm feeling a bit tired, I usually give myself an hour break by reading an audiobook or drawing. I forgot to mention that how I calculate these 8 hours is actually using the Pomodoro cycle. Is that even how you say it? It's where you focus for a long period of time and then you give yourself a short break in between. So actually when I say 1 hour, it's actually 50 minutes, and then I give myself like 10 to 15 minutes to watch a YouTube video or something. I think I'll explain that concept tomorrow. So basically I have a timer at the top of my laptop which sort of tracks how long I've been doing work for. So one cycle of 50 minutes plus a break would be equivalent to my 1 hour of productive activity. Forgot to mention that.
떠나볼까 let me fly to my 시선이 낮추고 어디든 맞춤 지금 나와 let me fly to my get me out of my bliss and now I'm feeling brand new.
So I just got home from school after 6 hours of lectures. I just ordered a Deliveroo, and while waiting for it, I thought, why don't I walk you through my YouTube system? Because I have a system on YouTube that helps keep me productive and doesn't let me get sucked into the algorithm, which is YouTube's recommended. Okay, so I'm pretty sure I'm recording my screen. Basically how I restrict my YouTube watching is that I use the watch later feature. So basically everything on my subscription, like I will go through in the morning when I start my day, I will go through and click this button. So I'll add it to my watch later. I mean, I've already done it, so it won't duplicate on my watch later, but I go in and do all these for the videos that is uploaded that day. And then it will be in my watch later list. And as you can see, I have 210 videos to watch because I honestly cannot say no to a video. I'm subscribed to so many YouTubers. But anyway, what I do is, as I mentioned yesterday, I do the Pomodoro cycle when studying and like getting my productive hours in. So during my breaks, I let myself watch one YouTube video, and as you can see, each YouTube video is usually around 15 minutes. So that way, when I do 50 minutes of deep work, I reward myself with about a 15-minute video. And as you can see, please don't judge my watch later list. It's really random. For example, when I see the videos here, I can immediately tell what my next video is. And as you can see, the Cimarelli sisters are totally unrelated to Jim Chapman. But after I finish watching Cimarelli's video, I'll just remove it from this playlist and it will be considered watched. And then I'll move on to Jim's video. But as you can see, because they are totally unrelated, I feel like it's easy for me to stop myself from watching. So I can easily just watch this one Cimarelli video for 10 minutes. Also, I watch things at 1.5 speed, just to save time, because this 10-minute video will become like, 7 minutes. So that will be within my Pomodoro cycle. And if a video is more than 30 minutes, I will split it into two. So I'll watch half the video and then go back to it after I've completed another cycle of deep work for 50 minutes. Yeah, I think this really helps me because, as I mentioned, the videos are totally unrelated, and it makes it easy for me to stop because I know, okay, I'm not going to miss out on any videos that I'm going to want to watch, because if I don't get to watch it today, I'll know it'll be in my watch later for me to watch tomorrow. And on the days where, like for example, Sunday, I mentioned I have no productive hours, and if there are no deadlines that are upcoming, I can treat myself to a YouTube day and I can just watch through my watch later and get up to speed on the YouTubers that I follow. It really stops me from clicking these recommended, because usually, for example, if I exit my watch later and I watch Stephanie Sue's video, if I didn't have this watch later system, I would be sucked into a whole cycle of videos on the side here. Like when I finish this video, I'll be like, oh, I want to watch her fiance speaking Chinese for 24 hours. And then I'll be forced to not only watch this 26-minute video, but also this 28-minute video. But now with my watch later system, I know that both these videos are in my watch later playlist and I will get to them in the future. And I think it just really avoids me falling into the rabbit hole of clicking on the recommended videos. And so I know when to stop, which is one video. And then while I'm eating, I give myself 3 videos. So that will take around like half an hour to 1.5 hours, which is usually the time I take to eat meals. And then at night, I also give myself like maybe 5 videos. I know I'm an avid YouTube watcher. Also, I forgot to mention that my YouTube watch later list generally does stay around 200 videos, but that's just because of my speed of watching, or like in the past maybe I didn't watch that many YouTube videos but added too many on my watch later. But nowadays it stays pretty consistent at around 200. Let me know if you start using the watch later feature, because it's really quite great. So I've been studying for my exam the entire day, and I think it would have been quite boring if I filmed me studying, because it's just a repetition of what I did the past 2 days. So I thought that maybe, since I'm sharing with you like the systems I have in place, maybe I'll share with you my cleaning system, because I think I'm just that kind of person. Like I always say that if someone watches me for maybe about a month, they will probably be able to tell my next move, because I'm just so repetitive. Basically, for cleaning my room, what I do is I set aside 30 minutes every day to do a certain, not really clean a certain part, but do a certain action. I know it sounds a bit crazy, but hear me out. Basically, I don't really set a day to do it, because if I'm going out that day or like I come home late, I might not be able to clean my room that day, so the activity just gets moved on to the next day. So what I do is, on one day, I sweep the entire floor, which is what I'm gonna do now. And by sweep I mean use this static cloth. Yeah, so I sweep on one day and then the next day I put everything in its place. Like I basically, like things like this I randomly leave out, and so the next day I'll clean everything and put everything back in its original place. And then the day after that I mop the entire house, and then the next day I put things back in their place again, and then the next day I wipe all the surfaces. So that means I wipe the stove, I wipe the mirrors in my toilet, I wipe all the surfaces like this table, this side table, all the shelves. And then the next day I put away my stuff again, and then the next day I go back to sweeping and then put back my stuff and clear up my stuff, and then mop and then clear up my stuff, and then wipe and then clear up my stuff, and then sweep and then clear up my stuff. And then today I'm just gonna static wipe the entire floor.
Every day 답답해 미치겠어. Feel like it's the day one. 누가 주식해 좀 들려줘. 오래돼 뺏겼어.
I don't know if you can see me, but I got this device, like I saw it on TikTok, and I've been using it ever since. I love it so much. It's basically a way for me to clean my carpet because it like scratches in and like pulls out all the hair or all the gunk inside the carpet.
여기가 이랬나 싶어. 갑자기 낯선 네 풍경 괜히 추억에 잠겨. 어렸던 책상도 떨어진.
Why don't I share with you my system for reading the Financial Times? I think y'all will know from my YouTube system that what I like to do is save things to do later on, and I don't like to do things at that exact moment because I feel like it helps me save more time, if that makes sense. Like I can use my time more efficiently by saving articles to read throughout the day rather than set aside half an hour to read. For example, if I have just like 5 minutes in the day, and usually I will spend that scrolling through social media, but if I have these saved articles, I could use that 5 minutes that I would have spent on social media reading the Financial Times until I finish the articles that I want to read for that day. So what I do is I have a set of saved topics under my Financial Times, and it actually encompasses quite a lot of topics, but I don't know if you care about that. But basically I go to my feed where they will show me all the articles that are related to my favorited topics, and I go to yesterday's news just cause then I'll know that I have the entire 24 hours of news because news are still being reported today. And I just go in and I favorite articles that I would like to read throughout the day. Just reading through some of the titles helps me understand what's happening in the world, or if there are certain articles that I want to learn more about or understand at a deeper level, then I'll save them so that I can read them throughout the day. So it took me like 2 minutes to go through all the articles, and I've saved maybe 9 articles. So I could go in and read all these now, but I usually just save them for the little pockets of time that I have throughout the day. And by the end of the day, I either would have read everything, or I will just take some time before I sleep to finish up all the articles that I would have wanted to read. I know it will make me 24 hours delayed because I'm reading the news articles from yesterday, but usually it doesn't really matter much because if something is like breaking news, I have the BBC notifications to tell me what's happening like immediately, so that's fine. If I have more pockets of time, I usually go into listening to my audiobook. I use the app Libby. I'm currently reading My Year Abroad by Chang Rui Li. It's pretty good so far, but it's a novel, so it's a 15-hour read, and I'm only at the 4th hour, so nothing much I can say about the book yet because I'm not even halfway through. Just as I started filming, there's literally ambulance going around and I'm having the hiccups, so since it's Sunday, why don't I bring you along editing my Notion for the week? And this is where I sort of put into my agenda what's scheduled for the week and what I have to do. So this is my Notion setup. I think I got it off of some YouTuber, but I made a few edits to suit my needs and requirements. So this is the main page where I schedule in the things that I need to get done during the week. So since this week is over, I didn't manage to go through the practice questions, so I'll just delete that since the exam is tomorrow. But what I do is to archive my data. I delete the calendar since I don't need it anymore, and then I turn this into a toggle list, and then I'll copy everything that I did during the week into the toggle list so that I can archive it. And I don't know if you realize, but what I try to do every day is schedule the 3 most important things that I need to get done during that day. With my 3 tasks, each task should take a maximum of 3 hours, and if it takes more than 3 hours, then it should be able to be broken down into more tasks. Usually my meetings are also a maximum of 3 hours, so that works out such that I can complete 1 main task in the morning, 2 tasks in the afternoon, and then nighttime I usually give myself a bit of a break if I finish my 8 hours of productive sessions. I'll just drag it into here so that if I wanted to, I can reference back to it. So like for example, this is 15th to 21st November, all the things that I did. If I ever want to look back on it, I usually don't look back on it, but I just like to have the option. And what I have at the bottom is 4 categories: additional tasks, which are actually tasks that I wouldn't be mad if I couldn't complete it right now. Like, they're not that urgent, but if I had a bit of extra time, or if I had less than 3 things to do that day, then maybe I could schedule it in for that day. So things like GP registration. Okay, maybe I should prioritize that a little bit. And then my next section is next week, which means like the things that are upcoming in the next week from when I'm scheduling. So I roughly know what I have scheduled for the next week. And then I have this month, which is similar, and then future planning is for anything beyond a month that I still need to remember. So right now I'll just create a new week, and I have it set up with my lectures in place, but I'm just gonna delete them since my exams are taking place this week and I'm done with all my lectures for the semester. And it's just good to have this calendar so that I can see what day. So it starts from the 6th of December to the 12th of December. And then this is when I start to put in my things scheduled for this week into the agenda. That's basically me done for the week. Usually I go into birthdays and then I'll type in whoever's birthday there is, because I have a calendar with all my friends and family's birthday. But I guess I'll do that off camera. I would use Google Calendar, but I sort of like the manual aspect of this, where every week I'll have to adjust my timetable and manually put in what is to be done on Monday, what is to be done on Tuesday. Yeah. So actually, that's it for my week of productivity, because my exam is tomorrow, and so my productivity will significantly reduce tomorrow. Thank you for watching this video, and I think you can look forward to quite exciting videos in December, hopefully. So see you guys in my next video. Bye!